YouTube had quite the delay there. Just waiting to see if we can get beyond one viewer. Just waiting. I know this time is like one of the most probably inconvenient times during the week, but I figured it is a happy hour, right? Hey, what's up? I'm so glad that you could join. What's going on? One of my bigger supporters. All right, apparently, look, we got one viewer. You know, I got one like. It's a small channel. It's 5:30 on a Wednesday, so we're just going to kick things off here. So welcome in. Cheers. I am the Crypto Bull God. And this is going to be the first edition of the Bitcoin Crypto Happy Hour. So the basic premise of this weekly series is, you know, it's very much going to be in a similar format as the podcast that I did for those of you who have been here for a little while. Very similar to the CBG podcast. But as you can see my smiling face. So, you know, we are going to be doing it live stream. And at the end of the segment, instead of taking questions on Twitter, we're going to nix that. And I'm just going to do a live Q&A on TA. So we're going to keep the Q&A TA specific and appreciate the interaction. It could be questions that you have on a chart that you have, something you see and you want me to take a look at. It could be a question on any cryptocurrency project or an update on a prior chart that I've shared, really anything. I mean, anything TA related, and I'll do my best to help answer any questions that you have. So with that being said, let's kick this shit off. Really excited to be back on YouTube. I know it's been a couple months since I've been off. It has nothing to do with the markets. It had zero to do with the markets. You know, sometimes in life you're going through a rough time. There's a lot of things going on, and you need to. Self-care is very important, right? So I was balancing a lot of things, and so I honestly didn't have the time to devote to doing this stuff. So life is starting to balance out a bit. Feeling a lot better. Things are a little bit more stable. So I feel like I can put a little bit more energy into this. So I'm happy to be back. But one of the things that this does provide, an opportunity when you step away like this, is it does provide you a moment of clarity in terms of enabling you to perhaps re-envision what you want your channel to look like, right? Or what you want to do. So one of the things that I really wanted to try to do at some point with my YouTube channel was to get some sort of regularity surrounding a live streaming event. And I have channels out there that I watch. You know, there are YouTubers out there whose opinions I value, and channels who I place some weight on in terms of what catches my interest and what I find informative. But I want to do something different. I don't want to just be like every other YouTube channel, okay? Clearly, you can see by some of my antics, dressing up as the Macho Man, Randy Savage, that I try to approach things a little bit differently. And so I thought, hey, you know, I think it'd be pretty cool, whether I'm here in my home office or whether I'm on location somewhere at an actual happy hour, we can do a live streaming. I can have a drink with you virtually, and I can talk a little bit about the markets. And that's fine. And okay, so we can talk a little bit about the markets, and it also provides an opportunity for me to engage with you and answer questions from a technical analysis perspective. So one of the things that I did over this course of time, and one of the reasons that I was sort of out of commission, oh wow, we got 6 people in here. All right. So one of the things that I wanted to touch on that I did do, you'll kind of see I'm in a new background shortly. You'll see the background. I did move. Okay, that was a big thing on my plate. So just want to quickly say hello to everybody who's tuning in here. So Brian D, what's up? Kaylin Fajardo, what's up? And of course, Patrick Guy, one of my, which I'm going to speak to you in a moment to express some gratitude, but welcome in. So thank you for the compliments. So I did move. You'll see a new background here. And one of the things I wanted to speak to with moving. So originally, Minishift was supposed to help me move. And, you know, I don't have a lot of stuff, but I'm a minimalist. For the most part, I don't really have a ton of stuff, but there are some larger objects, okay, some larger, heavier objects. And it's not that I doubted the crypto bull goddess, it's not that. But there were some heavier objects that I thought, okay, it would be nice if I had one of my male friends here to help me out, and she wasn't even supposed to be in town. So anyway, long story short, she ended up extending a visit, which was great, and she helped me do the entire move, which was fantastic. Very impressed. Minishift said he was very impressed that she was able to help with everything. Probably the funniest story from that is that, yes, I have no sister-in-law, so now I have somebody, I guess, trolling me. That's my brother-in-law. This is your sister-in-law. Okay. Okay. So I am not married, ladies and gentlemen. So anyway, the funny story was the bed frame, which did not fit in the U-Haul truck. So I will leave that between myself and the crypto bull goddess. That was the funniest moment. The most enjoyable moment of that move was being able to kind of sit down at the end of the evening and just have some sushi and wine. So very relaxing end of the evening, but it was all in all, the move went very well. It really did. So I'm kind of settled in here into my new quarters. You know, I have the crypto thing going on here, and I got still working full time as that actuary thing. So still have both of those things going on. So if you do have ideas for the channel, feel free to share those with me. You know, one other quick thing on the channel. I don't know if you recall, but some of the videos that I had put out there, some of the videos that I had put out there, they were called quick takes. That was not my idea. That idea came from you, okay? There was someone on Twitter who sent me a reply saying, hey, you know, like, it would be a great idea if you came up with like a quick, like, 5-minute rundown of a chart. You know, no fluff, no, just get right into it and spit out some knowledge on the charts. And I thought that is actually a great idea. That's a great idea. And so I've done a few of those quick take videos on Bitcoin, Ethereum. So that's something I could see myself continuing to do as well. So ideas are still churning. Appreciate it. Appreciate that you think the live streams are a good format. I do have some other ideas for the channel as well, but they don't just involve myself. We'll have to see how things play out, but would like to at least get one other person involved with the channel. The other thing that would be neat is I would love the channel to get to a point where I'm able to collaborate and do some interviews with people whom I respect in the space. And I'm not even talking about big names or anything. It doesn't have to be that, but any Twitter influencers whom I respect, or yeah, anybody in the crypto space whom I respect. I mean, this is far out, I know. But it's important to have ambitions and goals, right? So these are all things that I look forward to doing with this channel, and we'll have to see how things play out. But, you know, the current state of the market, you know, I really feel like it's pretty critical that we dive into things here. The current state of the market is not too happy, right? Things have been a little rough lately, right, to say the least. And so I know on my last YouTube video, I had shared with you, actually, this is not what I want to flip to. I know on my last YouTube video, what I had shared with you was sort of my current thoughts in terms of where things are at and where things are headed, right? Nothing has changed. Now, that was only a few days ago. We've undergone further capitulation downwards. And I know a question that a lot of people are asking themselves is the bottom in? Is the bottom in? Is the bottom in? Well, we have to express patience, okay? We need to express patience, and we have to wait for true signs of capitulation, volume to sort of pick up, and for some sort of extended wick like we saw back here in March of 2020, although there doesn't need to be an extended price wick to necessitate feeling confirmation or feeling confident that a bottom is in. And look what happened back here in 2019. It was sort of a flat correction and we ran up, right? But really what we want to see, I mean, the main thing you want to look for is you want to see prices to sort of stabilize, okay, stabilize. And I always share with you that the basic building blocks of a bullish narrative are higher highs and higher lows. I mean, we are creating lower lows and lower highs, okay? That is not what you want to see, right? So for us to really feel convicted that things are turning around, let's take a deep breath. Let's wait for price levels to sort of flatten out and begin to create those basic building blocks, okay? And again, I'll go back to my last YouTube video. There is no part of me that feels that we're entering a massive bear market. That's not what I see. For reasons that I pointed out in my last video, I view this as an extending flat correction within a larger bullish structure, okay? 5 waves, okay? We're playing out wave 4 right now. We're still waiting for that 5th euphoric wave. Yes, this here was a massive run up, okay? Massive run up, okay? And one of the rough things with a parabola is as beautiful of a thing as it is to see prices run up from, say, you know, when we were back in 2020, as awesome as it is to see prices run up from, you know, 10, 12,000 all the way up to, you know, nearly 70,000, as great as that felt, guess what's not happening this entire time? On this entire run up, if you actually look at a more granular level, and maybe I can flip to that, yeah, so this run up here, what's not happening? What's not happening is you're not building stair steps. So think of it this way. I'm big on trying to create a visual picture for you to help to illustrate what it is that I'm thinking. So let's pretend that you climb a tree, okay? You climb all the way up a tree, right? And you get super, super high. Let's say you slip and fall, all right? There's a big difference if you slip and fall and there are some branches below you that you can grab onto to help you get back up, right? Versus if you fall and there's no branches, you're a little shit out of luck, right? So that's essentially what's happened here. When we ran up here, there were no stair steps up, okay? There were no lower highs and higher lows and higher highs being created, such that when we come down, okay, there's not prior areas of resistance and support that will lend itself that price will want to grab onto it. It sort of acts, when price comes down, it sort of comes straight down, okay? That's one of the unfortunate things about a parabola. But we're going to get back to why that's an awesome thing for the DXY in a little bit. So really, for this to be invalidated, and I don't know, because I'm not an Elliott wave technician and an expert with Elliott waves, I do know, I can say with confidence that price would have to go substantially lower than where it's at right now. Okay, our low in this wave 2 movement back in March of 2020 was all the way, so I think it was around, yeah, right around here. It was about $3,800, okay? And just to keep things in perspective, just so we're not losing sight of this, if this feels horrible, if you were here in March of 2020, I want to remind you of something, okay? Because it's really easy to forget history. Hey, by the way, drop a comment. Drop an old comment in there. Let me know what you're drinking, because this is a happy hour, so I would like to know what everyone's drinking. I haven't even spoken to what I'm drinking. So before I remind everyone of price corrections, historical price corrections in this bull run, I don't think I've shared this with you. It's a little more personal. So this drink is actually it's an old fashioned. And the reason that it's a little bit more personal is because my grandfather, who passed away 2020, it was not beer virus related. but he passed away in 2020. You know, when I would go home and I would see him, and even before that, we would always share an old fashioned together. So every time I have an old fashioned, I always think of my grandfather, who I was very, very close with. So, so anyway, I'm sidetracking, but I'm having an old fashioned. So share with me what you're drinking. Are you having a beer? And if you don't drink, I 100% respect that. Have something different than water. Pull up a bubbly, a LaCroix, you know, flavored water, something. All right. Market's turning green, by the way. That's good to see. Here we go. We need a little bit of green in our lives. Hey, by the way, of the Holy Crypto Trinity assets, HBAR1 and Mana, which you can see directly behind me this beautiful artwork right here with my short shorts. You can see this beautiful artwork. I would say One Harmony is the most undervalued asset of those three right now, so just my opinion. But I'll provide an updated video on those three at some point, hopefully soon. So one thing I wanted to remind everyone of is let's go back in time, like Back to the Future. Awesome movie series. And let's take a look at this time period right here. Now, for all of you who are not invested in that time period, I actually started investing in crypto all in here. Okay, so I learned a lot. But when Bitcoin was down here, I was salivating. Okay, so the point of what I wanted to show you is how far of a big of a drop, once we got out of our true bear market, okay, from 2017 to 18 here, ending in 2019, once we bottomed, okay, and by the way, people were calling this a bear flag and saying the technical target was negative, so it was impossible for this to be a bear flag. But anyway, once we rode this thing up, and I remember the euphoria back in the summer of 2019, the question I'm posing to you is, let's take a look at this. When we topped here, roughly how much did we correct all the way down to the capitulation wick in March of 2020? This is about 73%. Let's look at where we're at today because it's important to keep perspective. Now, this is where it would be helpful to have an expert in Elliott wave analysis because I believe, part of me feels like the correct way to draw this would be the top of wave 3, which would be here, and to say we've only experienced we're going to call it about 69, 70% correction. But if you really want to measure the true top, even though this is an expanding flat correction and this is our B top here, and again, if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, go to the last video that I put out. I speak to it. Hey, by the way, as I'm doing this, no one has commented on their drink. Are you asleep over there? For the love of God, what are you drinking? Am I the only one drinking? Am I drinking by myself? Wouldn't be the first time. So if we get the top here and we come all the way down, we can see we have about a 71% correction. So let's just kind of level set this. As awful as this feels, guys and girls, because there's at least one girl here. I don't know who the hell it is because they've said there are about 3 different people. But ladies and gentlemen, I don't say things on Twitter that I don't mean. I am not disingenuous, okay? I am invested in crypto balls to the wall, okay? So when I tell you when the market corrected the way it did, believe me, on paper, because I didn't sell anything, on paper, I saw my account go from, okay, so I feel the pain, ladies and gentlemen, I feel the pain. But the point is, let's not get emotional about things. Let's kind of, to the best of our ability, let's remember the fact that we've hopefully done our homework. We know what we're invested in. We know the space. And let's remain level-headed and logical about it, because when you make emotional decisions, it's a very basic premise that when your emotions are, and we can all speak to this. I know I can. When your emotions are very high, your intellect is very low. You make very bad decisions. You say and do things sometimes that you wish you hadn't have done. But when your emotions are more evened out, your intellect is at a higher level, right? Your intellect raises, okay? Think about that. So let's remove emotion from this and ask ourselves the basic question of how much this has actually corrected. Have we had an 85 or 90% correction in Bitcoin? No, we had a 71% correction roughly. And down here we had roughly a 73% correction. So roughly in line with here. And by the way, if this is a true wave 4 correction, wave 4 corrections can be deeper than wave 2. So, and you can see, I don't want to clutter this chart and make it too busy, but these are different ascending lines of support. This is a red ascending line of support since 2015, which we touched here, okay, in March of 2020. So theoretically, if we touch that line, we could come all the way down to nearly 17,000. This is a gray ascending line since 2018. If we came down to that gray ascending line, we would come all the way down to 18,000, 19,000. So these are all possible areas that we could hit. And let me tell you, I've been wrong. I've said this. I mean, it's not about going on record and saying I'm wrong. Go back and watch my videos. Clearly, I've been wrong in terms of how much this would correct and how long this correction would last. I was dead wrong. Many people in the space whom I respect were wrong. It doesn't mean, and I keep saying this over and over again, it doesn't mean that just because the magnitude and timing of the correction is greater and longer than myself and many who I respect in the space, it doesn't mean that the narrative or story has changed, okay? Things would have to completely fall apart and we'd have to go down into single-digit Bitcoin for that to happen, okay? So that's not happening, but this is just to level set things and to give you some context in terms of how this correction really does look relative to 2 years ago, okay? So keep that in mind. The other thing I wanted to speak to real quick is the other thing I charted out here, and hopefully this isn't too busy. The blue horizontal lines are just halving dates, and if this is too, you know what, that might be a little too busy. I'll take it out just so we can focus really on what I want to speak to. So what I've done here, and this is a similar chart to what I posted on Twitter, every time the weekly, this is a weekly view, every time a weekly candlestick has touched the 200 SMA, it doesn't matter if we wicked below it, whatever, we just touched it. What I've done is I've looked at the time frame that existed until the next top, okay? So for example, in 2018, when we came down here and touched the 200 SMA, it took 203 days until we made our first big wave movement up towards like 13, 14,000, okay? We came down here in March 20, okay? Then the March 9 weekly candlestick went below, but it touched the 200 SMA, and we didn't top out until 399 days later, okay? So what I'm saying, one point of reference that I'm drawing here is if when we've touched the 200 SMA on the weekly, we take a similar time frame to hit our next top in our wave movement, it could be anywhere between January and July. That's all I'm illustrating here. But this 200 SMA holds a lot of price confluence. Everybody talks about it. I think it's the most talked about chart and moving average and price data on Bitcoin without question. All right, so we got water. We got coconut. Hey, by the way, coconut water. Coconut water is very underrated. Used to drink a lot more of it, kind of got off of it, but it's great at rehydrating you, so good for you. Bang Energy Sour Heads. Patrick, where are you located at? Just geographically, you don't have to get specific because Eastern, Western, are you in the United States? Because if you're drinking a Bang Energy Sour Head drink, it's a little late in the evening for that. You might have problems sleeping. But then again, I go to bed pretty early, like 9 o'clock at night, 8:30. Well, I was in bed at 8:30 last night. I was dead. Detach all emotions and hold on. The recipe is very easy. Yes, I agree. But one of the things you're finding, hey, I appreciate your comments very much, and I agree with you. But one of the things that you're finding is that it's a lot easier to say that, but then when you're in the moment and you're actually going through a correction, emotion takes over, right? A lot of people are maybe over-invested A lot of people don't know what they're invested in. A lot of people have relied on the advice of others and not educated themselves, which I think a lot of it is. I've had people reach out to me. It's crazy. I've had a lot of people reach out to me, and part of it, by the way, an old-fashioned is not an old-fashioned without a maraschino cherry. So cheers to that. So I've had people I know reach out to me and ask me for investment advice and how to invest and buy Bitcoin or Ethereum. They've heard of Ethereum or Bitcoin. The other one I've heard of that people have mentioned to me is Cardano. And I think it's crazy because I will never, ever, ever tell you what to do. I will, do my own research and share with you what my own thoughts are, my educated opinions. But I think sometimes people, they're looking to get rich quickly, right? They're looking to make a buck. And I think that's one of the easiest ways to lose the shirt off your back. Like, you really have to know what you're investing in. So, good point. But at the same time, I think a lot of people just don't know what they're getting themselves into and don't recognize the inherent volatility. Just as much promise as there is to the upside, and I see this market topping, I still see the market topping out at anywhere, I think I said between 9 to 12 trillion. And we topped out, let me share this real quick. We topped out, so we topped out up here at just over 3 trillion currently. But that's not the market top, okay? In my opinion, I still think, if we do top out next year, which is the way it's looking, and we have our true euphoric moment, I still see that going to 9 to 12 trillion. That's my call. So, where the hell was I going with that? I don't even know. But the point is that it's very easy to get emotional at times like this, and you have to know what you're invested in. By the way, it's at least one person is drinking with me. Kayleen Fajardo, who is my brother, sister, friend-in-law, are you having anything to drink? You're the only person that hasn't commented. Red Bull and vodka. Haven't done that since... I have not had a Red Bull and vodka. I'm probably older than you think. I have not had a Red Bull and vodka since I can't even remember. I mean, I know I've had it in my 30s. But... I'm currently 62. I know I look like I'm about 25, but I'm actually 62 years of age. So let's see. Are there any other charts I kind of wanted to speak to? One of the things, this is the 12-hour chart. I've spoken to the significance of the 12-hour chart a lot. I guess the first thing I would say is, this candlestick is very promising right now. If we were to close anywhere near this, look at the volume here. Look at the green. Look how high that green bar is. You see the light green bar? That's the volume. See how it overshadows all this? That's very bullish. And then we have a wick. So basically the narrative here is, we opened here, right? We went all the way down here, but now we're closing all the way up here. If we can close around that level, that's a very bullish candlestick to at least provide some short-term price relief. Again, this doesn't leave me feeling convicted if we closed here that it's bottoms in. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is it would at least provide me some conviction that we'll have some short-term price relief. We have to see how price develops. But the first thing to look for in this 12-hour chart, what you want to see, we need to get above the 50 SMA, okay? The 200 doesn't look too bad. It's sort of sloping down a little bit. You never like to see moving averages. You never like to see moving averages moving down. What does that mean? Just put it in context, just sort of common sense, okay? A moving average is an average of price. If the average is moving down, that means your more current price action is moving down. In this case, since it's a 200 simple moving average, it means, wow, the past 200 candlesticks on a 12-hour chart, they are decreasing in value. Not a good thing to see. So you really want to see this thing continue to sort of level off and then go up. But in the short term, on a 12-hour chart, if you pull up a 12-hour chart on Bitcoin, what you want to look for... Hey, by the way, guys, I did see 14 viewers, and there's 13. There's only 4 likes. Can everybody hit the like button, please? Support the channel. It does help the algorithm if you do enjoy the content. I would appreciate it. But what you want to see you want to see price action get above this 50 simple moving average, which right now is around $29,000. Thank you to the one person who hit the like button. I do appreciate that. So that's what you want to look for in the 12-hour chart. But what this chart is reminding me of is, geez, everybody. What this chart is reminding me of is the next 6 likes. Why, thank you very much. The next video that I believe I'm going to put out is, I think it's 4 steps. We'll say 3, 4, 5. What I'm going to lay out to you are the roughly 4 steps of what to look for to feel convicted that we're truly having a trend reversal and we're in our 5th wave and we're going to be entering price discovery eventually months out from now, and we're going to see continued upside price action. I've laid it out in my head that there's 4 steps, okay? But I don't want to put that in stone. About 3, we'll say 3 to 5. We'll give a margin of error in there. As an actuary, it's very important to always have a margin of error included in any estimate. So I say 4, I'll say 3 to 5. There you go. All right. What other charts did I want to look at before I speak to other few things non-chart related? Ethereum BTC, spoke to this on the last YouTube video. You can check that out. DXY. So something I tweeted out, which I neglected to put in the video because I was just being stupid and forgot to put it in there. This is a W pattern. If you look up what a W pattern is, if this plays out, it has a technical target somewhere around 113. Now, the important thing to keep in mind with the DXY, this is absolutely one of the most important charts that you want to keep an eye on. The dollar index is critical in understanding where price is at and where it is most probabilistically going. Every single time the DXY has gone down in the past 5 years, we've had a massive run in crypto, massive run in crypto. They are inversely correlated. What does that mean? For all of you, I hate that expression. For all of you that are not mathematically inclined, what inversely correlated with data like this is one thing is going down, something else is going up, all right? So as the dollar index begins to correct, what this data tells us is that there's a high probability that other assets as well, but Bitcoin and all of the cryptocurrency market is going to go up, all right? So this is very important to keep in mind. Here's the other important thing to keep in mind. I told you I would bring this back to my earlier point. Do you remember us talking about a parabola and a tree and tree branches? I don't know. I wasn't even like 5 sips in at that point, but that's the example I came up with. I thought it was a pretty good one. So drop a comment, let me know. But what does this look like to you? What does this look like to you? I'll be like Data Dash. I watch Data Dash. I respect him. I think he does a good job. I'll be like Data Dash. I'll put this. There's no chance he's going to watch my video, but all fun aside, dude, you do a good job, and the 0.1% chance you watch this. What does this look like? This is a parabola. Okay, this is a parabola. So when this thing does break down, there's not going to be a lot of support. If you followed my earlier comments, okay, once this thing breaks down, look at this thing. This thing has been on a straight trajectory. And if you follow me on Twitter, you know, check this chart out. It's unbelievable. We are in historic times. This thing is in the midst, 2, 4, 6, 8. It is in the midst of printing 9 green straight 2 monthly candlesticks. Never has happened in the history of DXY. Go back. Never happened. So what I'm saying is, look, Fiat. This is what I would say if I was having a conversation. Yeah. You keep moving up, buddy. Keep moving up. Because when you fall, that shit is going to fall hard. That's what I'm saying. Now, I can't tell you when it's going to fall. But what I can tell you with conviction is because we're creating such a parabolic price movement, when it falls, this shit's going to fall hard. And if you followed my prior comment, crypto and the DXY dollar index are inversely related. So as this shit falls, as fiat falls, as the US dollar becomes weaker, crypto is going to go whoop, it's going to go up, right? So very basic, but you really want to keep an eye on the DXY chart. What else did I want to talk about? So last thing I want to talk about, and then I want to get into a couple miscellaneous things, and I'm going to take your questions on anything TA related, okay? I wanted to keep this at around, I don't know, you know what? I actually had no idea what I wanted to keep these videos at, so we're just going to go as long as it goes, right? At least like 30 minutes, but if it goes to an hour, it goes to an hour. We've been on for about 35 minutes, so cheers. Anything here? Christopher Smith just joined, going back to the start to watch. Oh, awesome. Appreciate that, brother. Yeah, altcoins are very volatile, Brian. Appreciate that. Thank you. Is it? Okay, so I don't want to be impolite. So is it Terre? Nuez? God, Crypto Bull Goddess would be. I don't think. I don't believe. No, Crypto Bull Goddess is nowhere to be found. She's not watching. But if she was listening to this, she would be making fun of my pronunciations. Is it Terre Nuez? I apologize, but I don't mean to mispronounce your name. But you know that I really do appreciate your support. You've consistently supported me on Twitter and YouTube, and it's very appreciated. I really do. So, yeah, everybody, hit the like button. I only have 7 likes so far, so let's go for it. So this is a great example of how a chart pattern does not need to play out. Now, as you'll recall, so what I do, let's take a step back for a moment. When I'm on Twitter and I tweet something out, or I'm on YouTube and I'm putting these videos together, I'm not showing you things I want to see. I'm not sitting down and saying, what would I like to play out? And I think I'm going to draw this and share this with the community. No, what I do is I open up a chart and I look at it, and this is what I say. Ignore this price data right here. This is what I say, okay? You got a price move down. Let's take this off. You got a price movement down. And then, I mean, to me, this looks like a descending triangle, right? We have descending lows, right? Lower highs, and we have this floor here. So this is a bear flag / a descending triangle. Hey, I want to tweet this out because what this could mean, probabilistically speaking, there's a higher probability. There's a higher probability that because of this technical target, this thing is going to break down, and we're going to be, well, not into negative territory, but you get the point, into like I think the technical target was like 21%. I'm up to 10 likes. Let's keep that shit going. All right, thank you. So that's what I'm showing you, and that's what's going inside my head. But what you have to understand is the way my mind is wired, okay? We all have gifts in life, all right? Maybe you're an artist. I can't draw shit, all right? For whatever reason, my fingers are only good at hitting the buy and sell button. Oh, I'm missing my magic little button here. I would have pressed it. My fingers are good at buying and selling. I've only known how to buy lately for the past how many years. I don't know how to sell, but my fingers don't know how to artistically draw things. But what I'm very good at is I'm very good with numbers, right? I'm very good with analytics. I'm very good with probabilities. So I know when I look at this, that there's a higher probability that this is going to break down because a price pattern is present that has presented itself in millions of charts for years, okay? So there's probabilities based on that. It doesn't mean that it can't go in the opposite direction. What creates a probability? Yeses and nos. It goes here, it goes there, okay? The number of times it goes here, the number of times it goes there creates a total. It goes up here 75, it goes down here 25. Okay, so there's a 75% probability it goes here 25. You have to have things going in both directions, but there are higher and less likely probabilities. This is a great example where a chart pattern did not play out. So let's go back to the DXY. If you go back to the DXY, this W pattern doesn't need to play out. I'm just pointing it out, okay? So just keep that in mind. And hey, props to Credible Crypto. Credible Crypto I had pointed this out, and he said, nah, I mean, this thing's going to break up, and I think he said it, don't quote me on this, but I think he said 52% or some percentage, and I was like, okay, I mean, you're a super smart dude. I respect your TA. Maybe you'll be right. Well, I mean, so far, he might be proven to be correct. This chart pattern did not play out. So it's a great example that while I will continue to show you what is in the charts, it doesn't have to play out in the most probabilistic direction. Okay, just please keep that in mind. So a few other things that I wanted to hit on. I guess one more chart-related item, then we'll get into a few fun news articles, and then I'm going to take your questions. So if you have any technical analysis questions, please feel free to ask. I want to show you this. This is a very good chart to take a look at during a time like this to level set the conversation. This is Bitcoin's realized price. What does this mean in layman's terms? Okay, and you can go to lookintobitcoin.com. Look at the little screen here. You can see the little URL. Okay. What this is, the orange line is showing you the average price point at which Bitcoin has been purchased based on this circulating supply. Let me state that differently. How much Bitcoin is out there? And what's the average price at which people have paid for it? Okay, very simple. Now let's look at the average. Let's look at the actual price of Bitcoin. As you can see, anytime we've dipped below the realized price, this orange level, back here in 2018 and 19, back here in 2020, and right now we're doing the same thing in 2022. It's a generational buying opportunity. What if you would have purchased Bitcoin down here in 3,000 or 4,000? Guys, girls, if there's any here, we're sitting at 20,000. So you're still up a 6, 7x, right? 6.5x. What would have happened if you would have purchased below the realized price here when the beer virus hit at 3,800? You're purchasing at 3,800 or whatever the price was. It looks like it was down at like 5,000. Jesus, 5,000. You're still up a 4x. Okay, let me ask you this question. What altcoin are you holding right now where you're up a 4, 5, 6x? Unless you got in super early, probably not many, right? So what this is telling you is if you're able to zoom out and keep a macro perspective and remain patient and realize that you're not going to get rich quickly, but if you patiently invest. Look, I've been buying in the past 9 consecutive days. Doesn't mean I've been throwing in $20,000 every day, but whatever I could safely afford to do every 9 days, these past 9 days, I said this on Twitter, I don't say shit I don't mean. Every single day for the past 9 days I've been buying in. It's too good of an opportunity. I'm not buying in up here. Are you kidding me? I'm buying in when prices are so suppressed. Price indicators are so suppressed. Okay? When price is below the realized price, it has historically presented a great opportunity. Maybe you have to wait till 2023. Oh, gee. Maybe you got to wait till 2024. Oh, golly. Oh, golly. That's an old saying. And that makes me think of one last thing. I said I was done with the charts, but I'm going to do one more chart thing. So the other thing I wanted to quickly show you, and this will be super quick, I promise you. We're not going to look at that. Look at the relative strength index on the weekly. We are at 27 currently. We're at 27.42. Let's scroll back. We are at the lowest RSI reading that we've ever had on the weekly. Now, this doesn't guarantee you that we've bottomed. It doesn't guarantee you anything. Because I always tell you, there's no certainties. We just use the price data and the price indicators to create probabilities to leave us feeling confident in terms of what direction price is going, where we're at. Let me tell you in drinking layman's terms what this tells me. We are really fucking oversold. Even if it's a short-term bounce that gets sold off and creates a higher low, we are overdue for a bounce. We are way overdue for a bounce. Things are way oversold. come back to this video a year from now, I would be willing to bet that a year from now, if you come back and watch this, that the fact that Bitcoin was at 22,000, H-bar is at, Jesus Christ, H-bar, excuse my language, sorry. H-bar is at 7 cents. Harmony 1 is at 3 cents. And, well, I mean, Mana is crushing it. I don't know what to say. I mean, the Holy Crypto Trinity is what the Holy Crypto Trinity is. Mana is crushing it. Mana is at 90 cents. Oh my God. I told my one buddy, you know who you are. Haven't spoken to you in a couple weeks. What's going on? I told my one buddy, I had buy limits set up for Mana anything under $1 in that like 70, 80 cent range, even 60 cents, because we created that doji, the Dragonfly doji that I spoke to, and that was a clear sign of a bottom. So, I mean, that thing is reacting very strong. But anyway, the point is we're very oversold, okay? And if you're not seeing this fear, it's not just because it's fear, it's based on the price data and the price indicators. If you're not seeing this as an opportunity to scale in, why the hell are you in this market? Why would you feel so euphoric when prices are up here? And, I wish I could have gotten into Bitcoin when it was 20,000 or 30,000 a way ago. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're here, but you're allowing your emotions to dictate your actions and how you feel, all right? So just trying to level set the conversation. I can't guarantee you anything. All I can do is read the data and translate it to you. That's all I can do, and that's all I'm ever going to do. Let's try to get to a few quick news articles to laugh at together. Let's have a little bit of fun. And then we're going to get into a little TA Q&A. We're going to see what technical analysis questions people have. So this is the first one. You guys know who Bill Gates is? Please tell me I'm not dating myself. For the love of God, I'm hopeful that you know who Bill Gates is. So this is what Bill Gates said, the mastermind behind Microsoft. I like investing in things that have valuable output. The value of crypto. The value of crypto is just what some other person decides someone else will pay for it. This douchebag is either being disingenuous or maybe in his older age, he's just completely lost touch with reality. If you've done any research and homework on the cryptocurrency market, and thank you for everyone who's giving a thumbs up. I really appreciate the likes. If you could, if you haven't hit the likes, drop a comment. I'll try to answer whatever questions I can. If you've done your research, when you read something like this, and especially if you've been here for a while, you roll your eyes. And it's just more of the bullshit FUD articles that are put out there to get people out of their position. Now, I have not been here since 2015 or 13. If I was, I wouldn't be working. I wouldn't be working. But I've been here since 2018. I've seen this same sort of shit before. It doesn't mean that Bill Gates isn't an intellectually, obviously he's a very successful individual. He's a very smart dude. But I question the integrity behind this statement. He's either, I really mean this. He's either an idiot or he's being disingenuous. Let's go to this one. Jim Cramer. You know, when I first started out buying and selling stocks, I used to, oh God, this is scary to admit. I used to value Jim Cramer's input. Last maraschino cherry. I used to value his input. I remember the lightning round. I remember all that stuff. But at some point, I wised up and I viewed him as a clown. Quite literally. Look at what Jim Cramer just said. There's actually a person, if you go to Instagram, by the way, if you need any gym motivational stuff, I do that stuff on Instagram at Crypto Bull God. There's someone, buddy of mine, who I haven't spoken to in a couple weeks. What's going on? Buddy of mine, I think he follows him, Inverse Cramer. You always want to take the contrarian view of what Cramer does, right? And I totally see through all the bullshit that Cramer does. And I don't hate is a strong word. I don't hate anyone. But I don't appreciate a lot of what he does. I'm not into it, and I see through a lot of stuff. But anyway, if you read his stuff here on this article, go to this article on Fortune. Sold almost all of my Bitcoin, don't need it, he said on Squawk. Now, this was the same douchebag that when Bitcoin was up in these levels, okay? When Bitcoin was up at these levels, he was just talking about how fabulous Bitcoin was and how incredible Bitcoin was and blah, 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 blah. So what you have to do is you just have to keep in mind why you've been so dedicated to this space and why you're invested in this space. You can't read these articles and allow it to deter you from the educated decisions that you're making. You have to see through this stuff. There's a reason. Let me tell you. There is a reason that most people who invest in this space or any space lose out. There's a reason that most money fund managers lose out and they're not successful. Just remember, what I would say to you is just don't lose track of what I said towards the beginning of this podcast, the difference between emotion and education and being logical, right? If your emotions are very high, your intellect is very low. You got to remain unemotional. I'm right there, and I really mean this for a moment, just to keep it very serious. I grew up, middle class is a very wide range. I grew up middle class. I feel like I grew up on the lower end of middle class. I did not grow up with a lot. I mean, our grandparents, crypto bringer, and when I look back on it as an adult, I feel like a lot of the ways we got by and were able to do things, like our grandparents helped us out. On my mom's side, they really helped us out a lot. And it's something that as an adult you appreciate more. The point is, I didn't go on extravagant vacations when I was a kid. I grew up in a little suburb in the Northeast, in the middle of nowhere. And I can speak to what it's like to have what I would view as a tremendous amount of wealth, and then have it correct on you and see that happen. But when that happens, it truly, I will say this correction has tested me in a good way. And I'm really getting very personal with you for a moment so you can really feel what I'm saying. This correction has tested me in a very serious way because, like I told the crypto bull goddess, I went from here to here, and what it has allowed me to do is to really reevaluate my confidence in the market and reevaluate the decisions that I've made and why I've made them. And I know, even though the market has corrected as substantially as it has corrected, don't lose sight of the fact of what you're invested in and how early you are. I pointed this out before. I mean, guys and girls, look where we're at. We are sitting, let's see here. This isn't Bitcoin, guys. This isn't Bitcoin. This is the entire cryptocurrency market cap. It's sitting at It's sitting under $1 trillion. Apple is more than a 2x more than this. Apple's valuation, which is a technology/phone company, is more than 2 times the valuation of the entire cryptocurrency market. Don't lose sight of this. If you've undergone a massive correction like this and you have paper losses like I and many of you have had, if you still remain convicted, you look at it. This is just me. I'm just speaking to me. You look at it and you say, wow, that really sucks. That's what I had in my portfolio, and now it's this. It's going to be okay. If you can say that and you really do feel that way, that's a good place to be in life. It's a good place to be in life. Because what you recognize is you really do know what you're invested in. You feel convicted about the future. So guys, I really am here with you. I'm doing my best to provide you with value-added, educated content. And with that being said, let's get into the TA. So whatever questions you have, drop them. Dear God, what are all these comments? Let's see here. I'm behind on comments. I'm sorry. So if you have any technical, again, what I want to do with during the happy hour, what I want to do is I want to keep the Q&A TA related. So if you have any technical analysis related questions, feel free to ask them. Let's see here. Tito Leroy. Yeah, beer virus. You can't say anything else because even though my channel is not at the point, I'm close, but even though it's not at the point where I'm monetizing my channel, if you say what the beer virus is, I might get demonetized. Let's see here. What questions do we have? Okay, so you know what? This is a TA-related question, so I want to respond to it. Let me pull up a chart. I'm speaking to you, Christopher Smith. Thank you for the question. So let's go to a weekly chart. So the question essentially is, by the way, send your questions. Nobody's asking any TA questions. So I can chart. Just to be specific, before I speak to Christopher's question, if you have any questions on something you've charted, if you have any questions on a project, if you have any questions on something I've charted in the past, it can be anything technical analysis related. Give me a token. Give me something to chart. I have this chart right here. It's called blank chart. Do you see that? Blank chart. So it has the basic moving averages on a daily chart with the price indicators I most typically use. I can put anything in here crypto related and I can chart it out for you guys. But anyway, what I want to get, the question here that's being asked, it's a good question by the way. Actually, let's use a 3-day chart. Let's remove this moving average. I'm going to share that in a YouTube video. So the question that Christopher is asking is, what do you think are the chances of this being a short-term bounce? Well, I mean, my friend, we haven't really bounced. If we start to approach 30,000, we've bounced. We haven't bounced for shit yet. But anyway, let's take what you're saying for word for word here. So, what do you think are the chances of this being a short-term bounce, and then we come back to test the wave 1 high of around 14 to 15? I think it was 13 to 14. Which we then hold and then begin to start our next big wave up. So a couple thoughts before I look at areas of support and resistance. One thing I've seen going around Twitter, and I've seen people on YouTube speak to, is Bitcoin has never retraced to its prior all-time high. Guys, we only have like 10 to 12 years of price data. So that's a true statement. But take it with a grain of salt because we are so early. Like, I can't stress this enough. As much as you want to, look at the past price data and derive what you will, or rely on somebody's opinion, you have to understand it's different. It's different when you're looking at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, okay? And you're looking at, I don't know how many years of price data, 50, 60 years of price data, whatever it is. I don't know. And it's different looking at that versus, or more than that, 70, 80 years of price data. You're looking at that, you can tell I'm a numbers guy, versus Bitcoin, which has 10 to, it's just so naive. There's 10 to 12 years of price data, so there's not a lot to draw meaningful conclusions from. What's going to happen is if we hit our prior all-time high or go below it, that's going to create another data point moving forward. We're going to have more price data 10 to 20 years out from now, right? So we're very early. So first off, let me just say this. The level of the correction has surprised me. Okay? I've said that before. So I'm not saying that we can't, I'm not saying we can't go down to our prior wave 1 top, but let's actually take a look at any areas of price confluence, to your point. So are there any areas we could gravitate towards? So that was our top right there approximately. It's like 13.8, right? So let's look before that. Are there any areas? Well, this is an area of price confluence. Let me show you why. Hold on. Let me draw out some areas of price confluence. This is a 3-day chart, by the way. I'm not going to put lines in here and not explain myself. This is on the fly, by the way. I'm not doing this. You know, we're well below this line, so that's not a... Yeah, so what I'm seeing on a 3-day chart, Chris, is... Let me show you why I drew what I drew. I don't need to go back in time for this one. This 13.8 is approximately the wave one top that you're speaking to, okay? Beyond that, this is the 3-day chart. Look at this green line. You see that? You see how, look at this candle body, candle body, candle body, wick, wick. And look where this green line goes. You see that? You see how it connects right in there? That's at about 17.7. Okay, and then this line that I have drawn, look at the wick, 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 body, body, body. Okay, right about there at 19.1. So what I would say to you is, I mean, let me just say this. It would be devastating if Bitcoin went all the way down to 13 or 14,000 altcoins. Jesus Christ. You talk about a generational buying opportunity as if this wasn't one already. You know, I don't want to rule anything out. Do I think that's going to happen? No, I don't think that's going to happen. But there is a lot. And the fact that we've actually gone this low, we've gone to... This is on the Bitstamp exchange, which, by the way, I think the prior all-time cycle high was at 19,666. Mark of the devil, 666. And right now, our current low is just above that. It's at 20,079, okay? So if we break the 20,079 level, the next areas of support I see are the prior all-time high, which is 19,666, all the way down here to 17,000, the way it looks to me on a 3-day chart. So no, I don't think it's very likely, but it's certainly, I'm not going to rule it out. It's certainly a possibility. Let's see what, good question. By the way, good question. Thank you for that. Let's see what other questions we have. For those just tuning in, this is a live TA Q&A. We're going on an hour here. Hey, cheers. Hope you have a drink. This is a happy hour, okay? So we are in a correction, not a bear market. We are in a correction, so I'm trying to save all the fiat I can, convert it to crypto, and now I'm doing the happy hours indoors. I'm not going out to meet up with people. I got to save money, right? So got to save money so I can convert it into crypto. All right, let's see what we got here. Hey, by the way, I appreciate everybody who's tuning in. I know this is a brand new segment. I've been off YouTube for a while. So everyone who's really want to take a moment, everyone who has stuck with me on Twitter, on YouTube, very appreciated, because I really try my best to put out stuff that's helpful. Like I appreciate, you know, I think I shared this before. I was deciding what I wanted to do as a career, what I wanted to become an actuary or what I want to become a professor at a university teaching mathematics or statistics. And I decided to become an actuary, but I've tutored, I've loved teaching people, so this is an avenue for that. So the fact that I can just help people out and try to read charts and explain what's going on, it really, it's a form of excitement and energy for me. I love doing it, and I love helping you guys out, so I genuinely do. So thank you for tuning in. Let me see what we got here. By the way, someone quickly comment as I'm scrolling through these comments. How does the noise level on this microphone? Is it okay? Do I sound okay? Because I can adjust if I need to. Okay, let's see what we got here. I'm curious why we're up right now too. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. I'm really hoping to pick up. Let me comment on this real quick. So Tito Leroy. Let me comment on this real quick. Hold on a second. Okay. So, this is actually something really good to comment on. So, you're really hoping to pick up more H bar at 5 to 6 cents. All right. Let's pull up a chart real quick. I wanna ask you a question. I'll make this quick. I won't make this like super long. By the way, one thing I really need to do a better job of, if you if you go under my TradingView account, which you obviously can, I can. I'm a very organized, structured individual. Like if you went through my plays, anything in life, I'm very organized, structured, like I have my shit together. You go under my TradingView account, you look at the names of the charts I have saved, it is so fucking messed up. Like I need to organize my charts. I have Bitcoin Weekly copy, the copy of the copy, which is the copy of the copy, which was the copy of the second copy, third copy, fifth copy. I have so many named charts in there, and it's so out of order, and sometimes it drives me nuts when I'm trying to look for a chart and I can't find it, so I have to organize my TradingView charts. So you're telling me 5-6 cents, right? Look, I hope you and I both can pick up H bar for 5-6 cents, but let me ask you a question. If you think H bar is going to $2, $3, $4, $5, whatever you think it is at the top of this cycle, does it really freaking matter if you pick it up at 5 cents or 6 cents or 7 cents? So right now the bottom is at 0.0458, okay? So what I would tell you is, and maybe you're just making a statement like, boy, I hope I can get in at those levels, but I want to use it as an example. With H bar, I'm not telling you that we can't go, I don't know, it's already gone pretty damn low. Certainly gone lower than I thought. Yeah, I'm not telling you that we can't even go to 3.5 cents. I don't see that happening, but it's a possibility. But whether this is the point I wanted to illustrate, whether you get in at 5 cents or 6 cents or 7 cents, if you think we're going to $2, $3, $4, $5, yes, your point of entry is very important. But what I would tell you is at the end of the day, it's not going to matter. So I would tell you just to dollar cost average in. There's a reason I said I've been buying in the past 9 days. You hear what I'm saying? The reason I've been buying in the past 9 days is 2 reasons. There are 2 reasons CBG has personally been buying in the past 9 days. Number 1, I am not Nostradamus. Despite what you might think, I might look like him. But I can't forecast the future. All I can do is use probabilities to tell me what is most likely and least likely moving forward. Okay. Number 2, I do feel like I can read the charts to tell me when it is a good buying opportunity. So what I'm doing is essentially wrapping all those 2 items up in one. I don't know where the bottom's at, but I know this is a great buying opportunity, so I'm going to buy in. Oh, it's still going lower. I'm going to buy in. Wow, really? We hit that level? I didn't think we'd hit there. It was possible, but okay, I'm going to buy in. Buy in. Jesus Christ, everybody's freaking out. Buy in. In fact, I'm going to make that one a larger buying order. Buy in. So whether we get to 5 cents, 6 cents, or right now, I think we're at 7 cents, right? Yeah, we are at... Whew, look at H bar, 7 cents. Yeah, I remember when it was at 30, 40 cents. I would say right now is a great buying opportunity. So I would just say dollar cost average in. And it's quite possible you could get 5 or 6 cents. I think that's very, very possible. But I would just say, hey, you have $100. Let's use a simplistic example. You have $120. What I would say is put 40 in right here. We dip a little lower towards like 6 cents, put another 40 in. You got that last 40 in, we start dipping towards like 5 or 4 cents, throw the last 40 in. Then you've dollar cost average in. That's how I would personally do it. That's how I do it, and that's how I personally do it. Okay, I'm getting a lot of questions here. This is good. Kayleen Fajardo is enjoying a dirty martini. Cheers to that. What is everybody else? What is everybody else drinking? For those who don't know, she is my brother, sister, father-in-law, apparently. Don't know if this person is trolling me or if they're real, but we'll go with it. So let's see. Why did I just do that with my lower lip? What was this? I don't know what that was. What are your thoughts on the... okay, so let me read this. So I said I would only take TA questions, and I really want to keep it to that, but let me see what this says here. What are your thoughts on the rate hike increase in the following price action, possible reaction bounce from dipping so close to 20,000? Here's what I would tell you. I don't want to go on a long-winded response because I have a tendency to do that. What I would say is I'm just going to continue looking at the charts, and I'm going to allow that to dictate my decision-making process. I know that it's a very rough environment right now. I think the 75 basis point increase in interest rates is the highest since 1994, I read. But once again, I'm gonna read the... Here's the thing. Bitcoin is the driver of value. I don't care... Well, I do care. I don't care, though, if you value the Holy Crypto Trinity and say Mana or One or Harmony, HBAR or XRP or XLM or Matic or Ethereum, whatever your altcoin is, Bitcoin's going to dictate the whole market. So I'm viewing Bitcoin and I'm viewing the dollar index. Those are really my two main charts. I want to know what the dollar index is doing, what this is doing here. And I want to know what this shit's doing here. That's I keep it real simple. So I get the interest rate environment. I didn't even touch on this in this podcast / happy hour, but there are consequences to printing trillions of dollars. If you don't know what I'm speaking to, go back on my videos and watch the podcast on CPI. Okay? It's funny, actually, I'll tell you this. I don't know if I spoke to this. I gave a presentation at work on CPI, Consumer Price Index, Consumer Price Index inflation rate, right? And I spoke to how it's calculated, the subjective nature of it. I work with actuaries, so hopefully they appreciated the subjective nature of the calculation. I could tell 99% of them had no clue what I was talking about, and they hadn't educated themselves on it. It's not that they're not smart people. I work with people who are more intellectually gifted than me. It's just that they haven't had the time to invest into educating themselves. Inflation is out of control right now. It's CPI can be 8.6%. Real world inflation is 20% plus. Okay? And personally, that's making me think about a lot of things. I've been thinking about a lot of things in my life when it comes to finances and how high inflation is right now. But anyway, I don't know where the point of that is, where I was going. This is what happens when you're deep into happy hour. When you go out with buddies and you have a conversation, this is just keeping it real. You have a conversation and you're so far down the conversation, you don't even know where the hell you're at. That's where I'm at right now. So I don't know what the hell I was talking about, but I think you catch my drift. So anyway, in all seriousness with the rate hike, just keep an eye on Bitcoin. I've been trying to point out key charts and also the DXY. Do I trade low time frame? Good question, Brian. So let me make this point clear. I don't day trade. If you have a dream or a vision that you can day trade away and you can take money and buy and sell it in the same day and make a lot of money, you're fooling yourself. I don't know what the statistic is, but more than 90% of day traders lose. So I tried day trading. And I got my ass handed to me in many ways. I would do well for myself, and then I would screw up. And it got so nauseating, I said, this just isn't for me. So I will do swing trades. And I would say the lowest time frame I will use for swing trades is the 4-hour chart. By swing trades, let me be more clear on that. I might enter... So a portion of my crypto portfolio, the largest portion, is long-term. I don't touch it. I don't do anything with it. I just buy in at times like this, and I'm like, yep, thank you. Thank you, crypto gods and goddesses, for this opportunity. And then there's a smaller portion that I swing trade. So swing trades, I might get into it for like, I don't know, like 2 weeks, a month, 3 months, something like that. But I go down to the 4 hour. I use that. Yeah, Patrick. Good call, Patrick. He did say that. Jim Cramer said he would take his salary in Bitcoin. He's a fucking clown. Yeah, I know. With all the volatility in 2021, you could see things being overbought and oversold, but with 2020, nothing went down. Okay, this is actually a good question. Patrick, my friend, and with that, I'm going to finish out my drink here. Everything in moderation, ladies and gentlemen. Everything in moderation. One drink, just one drink. We don't overdo it, unless we're, I don't know. I mean, sometimes we do, but today we're not. So this is a great question from Patrick. I see this live stream is going on for an hour and 20 minutes. I need to eat dinner. By the way, drop a comment. What are you eating for dinner this evening? I am having some grilled salmon and some steamed broccoli. That sounds boring for most of you, but actually I enjoy it. And I might air fry some French fries. So with all the volatility in 2021, you could see things being overbought and oversold. But with 2022, it's been nothing but down. Okay, Can you visualize what a reversal will be like? Well, let me tell you. I've pointed out. Here's what I would say. I've pointed out the RSI on the weekly for Bitcoin, for example. Right, we're at historical lows. I've pointed out the realized value of Bitcoin as being prices are below the realized value, which presents a great buying opportunity, right? So when we get a bounce, here's the thing to recognize. I have been right before, I've been correct about things, and I've been wrong about things, okay? So when we bounce, what I do anticipate at some point, what I do anticipate is a strong bounce. Where you're looking at projects, actually it's happening right now. You're looking at projects like Uniswap up 12%. I mean, Uniswap right now is at, Jesus Christ, $4. Oh my God, I almost want to take my whole paycheck and just put it in Uniswap. Just kidding. But Uniswap's at $4, right? It's up 12%. But at some point, what you're going to see is you're going to see a lot of the altcoins, just as much as there's volatility to the downside, there's volatility to the upside. You're going to see those things up 20, 30, 40, 50%, right? And what's going to happen is it's either going to be a dead cat bounce or it's going to be the start of the creation of higher highs and higher lows, right? I'm in the camp that once we start to bounce, it's not a dead cat bounce. We're going to start to see higher highs and higher lows. So when we start to see a bounce, because, again, probabilities, not certainties, Patrick, okay? I'm not telling you what's going to happen. I'm telling you what I feel is most likely to happen based on the price data. We have been so pessimistic. Let me hit on this. We have been so gosh darn pessimistic. Okay, to your point. Let me show you this. Oh, losing track. Here we go. Look at this greed and fear index. Now, I've pointed to this before. Starting on the 8th of May, we have been below 20. We're going to be into a month and a half of being below 20. Whenever on the greed and fear, again, no certainties, just probabilities. Why am I clapping my hands? I don't know what's going on. But what I'm sharing with you is in the greed and fear index, when people have been so fearful that the greed and fear index is below 20 for like a large period of time and there's a cluster, that tends to signal the bottom. It doesn't tell you on the exact day when the bottom is, but what it's telling you is, whoop, whoop, whoop. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Things are so fearful, it's bottling up. It's like, this is actually a good example. It's bottling up. It's like a chamber reaction. It's just bottling up and it's going to explode to the upside. Now, I'm not saying Bitcoin is going to explode to the upside and hit 75,000 and hit an all-new time high. But what I'm saying is, you could see a bounce from, Bitcoin right now is at 22,500. You could see a bounce all the way up near 30,000 very soon. You could see that. There's just been so much pessimism, so much downside. Every day you wake up, tell me this isn't true. This is true for me. I wake up, I look at the markets, I'm like, boop-a-doop-a-doo. Oh, everything's fucking red. Red, red, red. Oh, look, some shit coin is pumping. Red, red. By the way, I sent this to my brother, Crypto Fearbringer. I thought this was pretty funny. This is a shit coin. Okay? Shit coin. I thought he would find some humor in it. It's a dog taking a poop. Shit coin. Yeah, it's pretty funny. But anyway, look, there's so much pessimism in the market that no one thinks that the shit's gonna go up, right? So when it does bounce, to your point in your question, yes, it's going to bounce hard. The question is it going to create another lower high and lower low? And that's what we really have to be patient and wait for. Now, I will say, and I've said this at the start of the channel, this 12-hour candlestick looks very promising. Let's look at the daily. Wow, that is massive volume too. Let's see how the day closes out. If we close anywhere around 22,500 here in the next hour, I think the daily candlestick closes at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time because I'm in South Florida. This is a very good sign that we at least have a temporary reversal. I'm not saying the bottom is in, but at least a temporary reversal. We get some bounce up. We kind of see what goes on. We get some temporary price relief and see if we begin to create higher highs and higher lows. Guys, I appreciate all the input here. I might have to start making dinner soon. Ooh, cauliflower pizza. That sounds phenomenal. Phenomenal. That sounds great. I haven't had that in a little bit. Eggplant lasagna and some chicken? Jesus, Nicholas. That is awesome. I actually, I've reduced my chicken intake. I just haven't done chicken as much. I've done a lot of fish and seafood, but I don't. So, fun fact for the Crypto Bull God, I don't eat red meat. That's really only my dietary restriction. I'll eat and drink anything, but the only thing I don't eat is red meat. I cut that out many years ago. I cut that out when I was 23 or 22. Just read about a lot of bad health stuff related to it, heart disease and colon cancer and stuff. Just cut it out. And I was a guy that ate red meat all the time. But eggplant lasagna and chicken sounds awesome. I love eggplant lasagna. I've made that before plenty of times. Kung Pao chicken homemade. Holly. I got a couple girls in here. All right, I got some females in here. It's not just all males. If you have, by the way, Holly, if you have a recipe for the Kung Pao chicken, I would appreciate it. I enjoy making something that's savory and tasty, but also healthy. So if I can kind of like modify the recipe, so share that with me if you can. You can DM me on Twitter. Let's see, what other questions do we have? There's really no super technical analysis questions. I'm surprised. Whittaker, I already kind of, I appreciate the question, but I kind of already expanded upon what I'm looking for a trend reversal. We just got to be patient. Arkansas. So funny fact. Okay, so Holly is apparently from Arkansas. Fun fact. So I actually interviewed for a job in Little Rock, Arkansas. I traveled uno time. I traveled one time to Little Rock, Arkansas. It was a good trip. I hiked the mountain. It was a fun time. I interviewed with Transamerica Insurance Company, actuary, as an actuary. Met an awesome guy. What the hell was his name? I don't want to say his name anyway if I can think of it. I met a super nice guy. Really nice guy. He's an older guy. He was near retirement. He's actually blind. And but he had the nicest heart. Like, he had a great perspective on life. Super nice guy. You know how sometimes you run into people, you meet people that are just, they have a really good heart. You can kind of feel it from them. He was one of those guys. Brad. It was Brad. I forget his name, but he was a super nice guy. But I've been to Little Rock, Arkansas, and I really enjoyed it. Like, I thought it was a nice little area.
Okay, we got the dirty martini going on. I like to hear that. Have we bottomed already? Yeah, I spoke to that. Smoked salmon and asparagus. Good deal. Very good deal. Whew. I like putting smoked salmon in egg whites sometimes in the morning. I gotta say, my favorite dinner here that I've seen anyone post would be the cauliflower pizza. So, cheers to Kayleen Fajardo for the cauliflower pizza. That sounds phenomenal. In fact, you're making me hungry for pizza. I might actually, I don't know, I got one in the freezer. It's actually cauliflower. No other questions. Born and raised in New Orleans. All right, so if there's no other questions, this stream's been going for an hour and a half. So I just wanted to thank everybody for tuning in. Continue to stick with me here. I'm going to be putting on more live streams every Wednesday. It might, depending on the availability of myself, how the week goes, it might be a Thursday. It might work better for other people too. But Wednesday, Thursday is what I'm thinking for the Bitcoin crypto happy hour. So thank you for tuning in. I appreciate all of the engagement and spread awareness, as I always say, spread awareness and carry the education forward. Thank you, everybody. Cheers. Appreciate it.